Hello and welcome to another episode of Richard's Comics. It's been a little bit since I've given you an update on the books I've been tracking down. So on today's video, it's going to be a little bit longer. I have some older books that I pulled from dollar bins or picked up here and there at different shops. And additionally, I've got some relatively new books that have come out in the past couple weeks that I got in the mail. And then a couple other books that I got for my Amazing Spider-Man run that I've been working on for a long time. So anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the first book here. I got this from a dollar bin. This is Action Comics Annual Number 2 from 1989. This book has the first appearance of the Eradicator. Not really too much more to say about this book besides it had a lot of very famous people working on it. Mike Mignola, George Perez, Roger Stern. Quite a few very big titans of the industry worked on this book. Next book up, Adventures of Superman number 449. A little out of order here. Next one up is Adventures of Superman number 447. This book is from 1988. Next book, this is Daredevil number 234 from 1986. I have to say I have never seen this book before. I don't know anything about the Madcap character, but given that I haven't seen him in any other books, I'm guessing he didn't stick around very long. Next book, Daredevil number 246 from 1987. Here's a fun crossover. This is Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. Really cool cover here. Really like Dr. Doom in the background, snickering as Wolverine has apparently killed Reed Richards and Sue Richards. Next book is Fantastic Four versus X-Men number 3. Apparently Reed and Sue are still down, and now the X-Men appear to have been maybe mind controlled. I'm not very familiar with this series. I'll still need to track down issue 1 and 4 of this, but it's not looking too good for the FF here. I'm going to switch up here. This next book is Justice League number 205. This is from 1982. This is volume 1 of Justice League that ran from 1960 to 1987. I actually didn't have any of these books, so these next Justice League America books you'll see are actually the first of this volume 1 that I have in my collection. Next one up, Justice League of America number 213. Justice League of America number 214. Number 218. And number 223 from 1984. Again, I got these out of a dollar bin, but they are pretty beat up. Definitely reader copies, but I was happy to have them nonetheless. Changing up, we have Prototype number 1. This is from 1993. This is from the Malibu was the publisher, and then the line was the Ultraverse. They had some handful of characters, Prototype being one of them. Definitely some similarities to Iron Man. This had other titles, for example, Prime, Hard Case, and some other different types of books. So a little bit fun, definitely a little bit more of a juvenile title aimed for younger audiences. But I still enjoyed this, and I actually didn't have quite a few of this run, so I was happy to get these. These were actually only a quarter, so I was very happy to get these. Issue number 3. Prototype issue number 4. And issue number 15. And again, I was happy to get these. I know Ultraverse is not the most popular, especially nowadays. It's often seen as the glut of the 90s superhero comics, but I still enjoyed these nonetheless. Another early 90s Savage Dragon number 7. And then got one more dollar book. This is Spectacular Spider-Man number 67. I really enjoy this cover. A lot going on here, but you really see Spider-Man and his supporting cast and some of his rogues. Looking forward to read this. And this is pretty early as well. This is another book that's from 1982. This next book, this is actually not from the dollar bin. I only paid about, I think I paid about $2 for this one. This is Spectacular Spider-Man number 129, and you can see on the cover there he goes against the Foreigner. I got this one from Midtown Comics. I'd accidentally double bought this book, but this is actually the direct edition. The other one I have is newsstand, so at least I got the 2 different covers. Okay, so the next portion of the video, we're going to go over the new books. Okay, first one we'll talk about, Absolute Power number 2, second issue of that miniseries. And I guess at the end of this, it's going to lead the way to Absolute DC, which is the new publishing initiative that's similar to Ultimate Marvel. I'll try those books out and we'll see what happens. Next book up is Amazing Spider-Man number 54, Legacy number 948. Really good Ed McGuinness art in this book. He did, I believe, both the cover and the interior. I have not really liked this volume of Amazing Spider-Man. It's been very controversial. Breaking up the recently rekindled Mary Jane Peter Parker really frustrates me. And then Spider-Man is pretty much a guest star in his own book. He's often overshadowed by B characters at best that really can't carry their own book. So I'm hoping that this creative team is supposed to be off the book here in about a few months. You know, I wish him the best, but I'm happy to get some new blood on the title. Next book up is Annihilation 2099 number 5. I believe this is the last issue. This was a weekly series that came out, introduced a lot of the cosmic characters for 2099. While it shares the Annihilation 2099 title, the Annihilation, the same as the 2006 crossover, where Annihilus invaded the main Marvel 616 universe. Besides being cosmic based, that's where the similarities of this end. Annihilus is not in the book, and there isn't really a big invasion, at least that I've noticed when I read these titles. It really just serves as a bunch of one-shots to introduce these various 2099 cosmic Marvel characters. It's okay, but you could probably wait for the trade on this if you're interested. Our next book here, Batman number 151. It's Absolute Power tie-in. It says it's a tie-in just like 150 was, but honestly it doesn't really seem to really cross over that much with the Absolute Power. Maybe this one will cross over more than what it seemed 150 did. But overall, I still like Batman. It's got very solid art. Writing's fine. I really think they should probably just focus more on the Batman-centric stories, not worry about crossing over. Next book up is Blood Hunt number 5. Blood Hunt's been okay. So this is the regular edition. This isn't the Red Band edition. The Red Band edition, probably most familiar, is it's a more graphic version of the comic. This is a little bit more of a toned down, not quite as graphic. I don't think the Red Band is worth the extra money for it. This series has been okay, but I really prefer probably DC versus vampires versus this particular story. Again, it's been all right, but a little bit of a spoiler work. Having Blade as your antagonist, I don't really think that works, but I'm sure someone out there likes it. Next up is not really a comic per se. It's more of a preview. This is DC Connect number 50. You can see it's promoting the new Batman The Long Halloween, dedicated to all of the previous Batman stories that have with Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Should be pretty good. Nice standalone Batman titles, really of a murder mystery. So I'm looking forward to check out the Batman The Long Halloween when the last Halloween when it does come out. And the next book we have, DC Connect number 51, previewing the All In Initiative, which is, again, going to be coming out of the Absolute Power storyline, which is kind of a soft relaunch of the main DC line. And then additionally, they're having the Absolute title, starting with really focus on Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, where they really strip the characters down. I'm not sure this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give it a try. Next one up, this is Fantastic Four number 22, Legacy number 718. This is actually just a straight up cover by. This Alex Ross cover here is Mr. Fantastic is apparently being attacked by vampires. I really just enjoy this cover. That's the only reason I got it. Next book up is Gunslinger Spawn number 34. And you can see the $2.99 price point for all the Spawn books. I've enjoyed these. They definitely don't have a lot of forward momentum. It's a very slow burn on the story, but the art's been very good. The characterization is good of the characters, their motivations, what makes them tick. The action in it and the art really sell these Spawn titles, and this book is no exception. Next book is Immortal Thor number 13 at Legacy 774. You can see he's arm wrestling with Thor, with Hercules here on the cover. You can see there's kind of a creepy villain right there in the background. So this looks like a fun book. I've enjoyed Immortal Thor. You don't hear much about it, but I definitely think it's this is a well done story so far. I've enjoyed it. Really talked previously about Thor and like some of his lesser known siblings in the previous arc, and now we're bringing in Hercules. So like I said, this book's a lot of fun in my opinion. Next book up is Immortal Thor annual number 1. You can see this ties into the Infinity Watch story, which is going through the various Marvel annuals. This particular story, from my understanding, is the different Infinity Gems. Basically, I don't know if they possess the various characters, but they end up producing different heroes, and I guess some of them are villains now instead of the Infinity Gems that we're used to. So it's really, the gems are more personified, where before they were just a stone that was put on a gauntlet. Next book here, Incredible Hulk number 15, Legacy number 796. Definitely getting into the horror aspect of Hulk. I really like these. This has been one of the more unheralded Marvel titles. It started off strong, but then I haven't really heard much about it since, but it's definitely worth checking out. Next book up, this is Green Arrow number 14. If you've been reading Absolute Power, you know that Green Arrow appears to be on Amanda Waller's side. I don't read much Green Arrow, but I am curious as to basically why has Green Arrow betrayed all of his allies and is working with the enemy. So I'm hoping this is going to shed some light on that. Next book, Scorch number 32. Again, another Spawn book. And speaking of, this is Spawn number 355. Next book up is Spectacular Spider-Man number 9, showing the team up between Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Our next book, more of a mature title, is Spider-Man Reign number 2, and this is issue 2. Speaking of unheralded titles, we have Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin, set in the early days of Spider-Man. I have not heard anyone talking about this story so far. It's okay, but I do, well, let me say this. I am kind of surprised I haven't heard anything about this title. So it's worth checking out, but I would wait for the trade paperback. You probably don't need to pick up the single issues. Next book here is Thanos Annual number 1. Ultimate Spider-Man number 7. And another Absolute Power tie-in with Wonder Woman number 11. Okay, and I just got a couple more books for you. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man number 131. And then to close, we've got a couple Silver Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 68, Silver Age book. And the last but not least, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 71 versus Quicksilver. This is from 1969. This is a CGC book. It's not anything super special, but it's really nice. It's a 6.0. But looking forward to adding these to my collection and continue that long journey on trying to complete ASM. That's all I have today. Appreciate your time. Hope you have a good day, and remember to collect what you like. Thanks. Bye-bye.